Namaste. I hope everyone had a really good start to this Thursday, the last day of April, and we're ready for a new day, a new month, a new something tomorrow, at least maybe a new attitude in the mind. It's also International Workers' Day, May 1st, so also remembering all the people on the front lines tomorrow that are out there working and helping and getting us through this crisis time. I want to start today a little different, just so that you have this in your repertoire. Okay, we're going to start standing up. So come on up. And come and find a comfortable place where you can find your Tadasana. For just a moment, let's just start by taking a fist, making sure it fits between our big toe knuckles. And maybe two fists, depends on how broad your hips are, but somewhere between one fist and two fists. And whatever you put there, put it between your knees. So if you put two between your knees and you think, oh, well, that's a little too broad, come back, put one and one. So whatever you have between your big toe knuckles, between your knees. And then lift and don't lock your knees. Use the quadriceps. Lift up. Take your tailbone and pubic bone evenly down, not either one thrusting forward or back. Rooting down the pelvic floor. Lift your toes. Good. So now we have the inferior part of our body stable. Toes are still lifted. Keep them lifted. So from above our belly button, where our ribs make the V, from there, where Apana Vayu takes us down and roots us down, excuse me, we are grounded. Drape your toes down and let them just fall into the earth. Now, using a few breaths, I want us to inhale and draw up through the spine. And now feel the V of your pelvic basket, the V that's created there, and feel your superior body lifting. Arms stay down, arms stay soft, but yet you can feel that upward reaching air. Breathing. Take your shoulders way up to your ears so you can know where they're not supposed to be. Take them back and relax them down. And just move them a little bit. Good. Flip your palms toward me for a moment with effort, and then relax your arms. So arms are completely relaxed. Body is still active. Chin is parallel to the floor. And you're in a standing, relaxed pose, yet muscularly active. So the bottom of the body is active, the top of the body is active. And now we're going to relax muscle to bone. Feel your buttocks relax, your legs, your shoulders, your jaw. A standing Shavasana. Bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Relax your thumbs against your sternum. Ask yourself, is your head going forward? Bring your head and place it on the top of the spine. Relax your buttocks, relax your belly, relax your shoulders, your jaw, and just take in a few meaningful breaths. Watch the breath coming in. Watch the breath going out. You deciding how low you can get the breath in the ribs. And then on your next exhale, drawing your belly back into your spine, beginning to engage muscles to bone. Feel yourself innervating everything. The nerves are telling the muscles, grab a bone, grab a bone, grab a bone. Press the hands into one another. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. Special prayer of thanksgiving for Babaji. With joy, we recognize the excellent teachings of wisdom teachings of yoga, of Ayurveda, of all the spiritual sciences. And with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice. Good, so keeping that vigor, press into the hands, press into the hands, press into the hands. Pull the belly to the spine. Pubic bone, tailbone reaching down evenly. Pelvic floor is lifting while the bones are reaching down. Toes can lift again, drape them down. Good. Take a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, let's try it on. And slowly release your hands. Let the arms fall to your side. Good. So the pose then that we will direct ourselves toward today, and we'll build a practice around that. And you can sort of see what happens when we have a place to go, how we can build what's going to happen. So Radha was asking about Hanuman Asana, which is Hanuman down in the splits, all the way down on the floor into the splits. So you can see how this lunge pose would be one that prepared me for that. Back in the day when I was a young and limber dancer, I could walk up to the wall and put the other leg up the wall. No way that's happening anytime soon. But I can, and you're going to do this. You're going to walk to the wall. That was a cat jumping down from the upstairs. You saw a big shadow across the screen. So walk away from the wall. Find the wall. You really need a wall. You can use a chair if you need, and just put your heel on the chair. But the rest of us are going to use the wall. Okay. So taking your right foot, put it on the wall. And pull into the left leg, left hip, left everything. No more than a right angle. Even less is fine. You can come down here. Don't sink into the left hip. See what you did. And release it. Okay? Good. And now the other leg. Pull in. Everything is contained, 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 contained. So just for now, just that right angle with the legs. Good. And then release it. And see, ask yourself, was I a little too close, a little too far? So take the time to get yourself all ready to go, because we're going to do it again, okay? So look at the wall, not at me, look at the wall. And then draw up your right leg. Place it on the wall. Draw back your left quadricep and firmly set the bone in. Bone is firmly set in the socket, the femur. And then see if you can rise up with the arms. Just checking. See if you can rise up with the arms. Press into the foot on the wall, press into the foot on the floor. Lift, lift, lift. And then exhale, release, and release. Good. Same thing with the other side. Wall. Press into the foot, heel. You can peel the toes off so the whole foot is on. Press into the right foot on the floor. Rise up with the arms, lifting up. Look at your foot, rise up. Press into the foot on the floor. And slowly release. Good. So, and that's enough of that for now. You're probably feeling it. Great. So we're going to come all the way up with the arms for just a moment, up with the arms. Reach up out of your body and walk yourself for a minute. Just kind of walk a little bit either side, just a little pacing. Feel into your ribs. Feel as the ribs separate on one side, get closer on the other. Good. And then find a neutral spot. Take the arms back behind you. Interlace, squeeze the knuckles there. Good. And then release the arms and let them go. Good. Take a nice inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to rise up onto the ball of the foot into toe balance. Good. And then we're going to slowly and gently come down onto our knees. Okay? So hands to the floor. Begin to walk yourself forward until your knees are firmly on the floor. Good. And come up. Great. So we did a little of this yesterday in a different position, but for now, I want you to simply Be where you are. If you want to hold onto the wall or a chair or anything, I want you to raise your right leg close to you. Just raise the right leg close to you. Tuck the heel in to your leg as much as you can. Feel what's happening on the quadricep. And then release it. And then left leg, how far you can get it in. Good. Both legs may be very different. No judging. And then release it. Good. And then facing me, if you will, left leg forward. Great. Now, here is where some blocks come in really handy. If you have two books that are about the same size, pillows won't really work. You need something stable. And yes, you can just tend to your fingers and reach into that, but it's so much more comfortable if I have something else to press into. Good. So walk your left foot out enough that it's right out of the hip joint. If you take it into the middle of your mat, there's nothing stable there. So get it over as if you were on train tracks. Good. And then come up off the back knee and reach the whole foot back. Jump up off of it, hop off of it, and reach it back. Lift the belly, lift the quad. So no sinking into anything here. Look forward. Good. And then go down to the back knee. And it should be quite a bit back, not underneath your hip at all. The knee is back. Then we're going to come back, straighten the front leg, bend the back. Come forward. And if you have all of the weight in your hands, arms, and shoulders, then you can take your knee out a little bit past the toes. If you have it there, otherwise do not. You will overstretch your knee. This has no weight in my knee right now. All the weight is in my hands and shoulders. And come back. Lift the toes on your left foot. Look at your left toe. Come back, look forward. Don't drop your belly in, that just adds weight. Keep your belly lifted up. One more time, back. Lift the toes. Good. Just release it a little bit and come all the way back up. Good. Okay, now we're going to go with the right foot, right leg, everything forward. Good. Reach into your block or your books, make sure you're stable there. And yes, you can tent the fingers, but I want you to be really stable. That's the key. Now hop your back leg back, all the way back, press through the heel, get a long leg, lift your belly, pelvic floor is engaged, everything is engaged, look forward, and then come to the knee, and the knee is really far back. Yes. Okay, and then we're going to begin to straighten the front leg. Lift the toes of the right foot and come back. Lean forward. You can take the knee out a little bit as long as you don't have any weight in the knee. And come back. Look at your toe and come forward. Look out at me. One more time. Come back. And then bring it just to neutral. Good. Go ahead and take your knee back. And then come back up into kneeling. Good. And then just checking for a moment. So just check in with yourself. How is the leg again? So bringing in one foot toward the hip and just see if it got any easier after you did that. And release. And up. And release. Good. Everybody good? All right, so turn back one more time. Come back onto the ball of the foot. We're going to reverse what we did. Come back to the ball of the foot. Good. And then come up to the ball of the foot. And then all the way back up. Still on the ball of the foot. And relax down into the legs. Good. So now I hope everybody can find a chair. It doesn't really matter what kind of chair so much as it's just a chair. Well, I guess it does matter. It needs no arms on the sides. So if you don't have a chair, you can just fake this for a moment. But it's important that I show it to you so you can sort of see how you can work with Hanuman Asana. I'm going to do it to the front, and then I'll do it to the side. I'm going to walk a leg over and take the other leg back. Okay, I'm going to show you how that looks from the side for a second. So this knee is right over the ankle, and the other leg is back. Okay, so from the side, it looks like that. Okay, great. And I have my pillow in the way, but I'm reaching back with my back leg. My front leg is in that extension. So if I can't straighten my front leg all the way out to come into a splits, what muscle is stopping me? The hamstrings, the muscles on the back of my leg. If I had a strap, which I do because I just had it on this. Okay, oh, there I put it, sorry. Okay, so we're back, just reaching back. You can drop your back leg for a minute, just let it relax. Take a strap and put it around your front leg and begin to straighten the front leg, straighten the back leg, and you can see where your splits are. Mine are not very split right now compared to when I was in my 20s, okay? But this is, my hamstrings are super tight, so that's where my stop is. My stop is with the hamstrings, okay? Looking forward. And then relax. Bring the leg back. Good. And come back around. Good. Now we're going to try the other side. Great. So wherever you are, you're just playing here. This is, and one side may be a lot different than the other. But I want you to see how you have to break down a pose if it's important to you. If that pose is important, you have to break down all the things that are needed. Open hamstrings, open hips, strong belly, strong core, a lift above, a rooting below, okay? So then raising the front leg, good. And then once I'm there, that is my Hanuman Asana. Now I could be in the air, I could be Hanuman flying in the air to Mount Kailash. Good. Wherever you are is perfect. Don't strain, don't stress. Reversal, drop the leg back in, remove the strap. Just have a seat on your chair for a minute and relax your legs. Just take a nice seat, relax your legs. Notice your breath. Where is it after the effort? Is it in the belly? Is it in the chest? Just where is the breath? Good. And then coming up out of your chair. And then we're going to do what I think is a really good foundation to a daily practice for those of us who really need a little activity. We wake up in the morning, we're feeling a little sluggish and really need that little bit of movement. And it is Surya Namaskar, the sun salute. And if you can just memorize it or watch a video that has the Surya Namaskar set, it's also really good to help you prepare for Hanuman Asana because it has that lunge in it and it has strength building through mountain pose, downward facing dog. So it helps us to really grow strong. The only thing I want to caution you with is if you drop into your shoulders when you head to the floor, you might as well, you're going to ruin your shoulders. And so you really want to be careful about how you get to the floor. You can do it so many ways, so do not strain. Once we get there, I'll give you a few ways, okay? So for now, come to the front of your mat. I'm going to cut my head off a little bit, but that's fine. You don't really need it. And release your arms down. Good. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, grow some tendrils down into the ground. Grow tendrils. Good. Inhale, arms floating up, all the way up, lifting up. Exhale, we're going to begin a forward fold. If you have any eye pressure issues, only look forward. The rest of you can look down. Inhale, begin to gaze forward. And then exhale, place your hands on the floor, left leg back into a lunge. Drop to the knee. Go ahead and raise the arms up for just a moment to feel a little lengthening in the torso. You could have also stayed right at the knee. You could have also come up on the back knee and stayed there. Relax. Good. Come off the back knee and step to plank. Long line of energy, plank pose. Good. And then drop to your knees. Stay nice and strong. Take an inhale. Hold it. Begin to lower to the floor. Elbows back. 8 parts bowing. Chin or forehead, chest, hands, knees, feet. Then stretch out and inhale. Next breath up to cobra. Little cobras. So small you can lift your hand. Good. From here, we're going to push back into mountain pose. If you don't invert, if you're not inverting today, just push right back into plank. Going through table first and up to mountain or plank. Mountain or plank. And then everyone shift over toward plank as you gaze between your hands, stepping your left foot over by your left hand. Now here you can stay up on the knee, down on the knee, hands on the floor, hands to the knee, hands up and arms up overhead. Wherever you want, in any of those places. And then float the arms down gently, hands on either side of the mat. Come off the back knee. Inhale, a little hop to the front. Look forward if you are not inverting. If you're inverting, look between your legs. Crown of the head to the floor. And then inhale, arms to the sides. Coming up, all the way up. And exhale, hands into Anjali. Good. So this time I'm going to give you a side view of the second side. So this time we'll do it on our right side. Good. So wherever you are at the top of your mat, take a nice inhale. Exhale, arms floating down. Thumbs reaching back. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, forward fold. Remember, any eye pressure or any reason not to invert, look forward. Otherwise, look through your legs. Inhale, looking forward, everybody. Stepping your right foot back into a lunge. Good. You can stay here or drop to your knee, hands to your front knee, or push away, or arms up. You decide. Begin to float the arms down if they're not already there. Come off of the back knee and step to plank. Long line of energy, crown of the head through the tail. Respect all of the natural curves of the spine. Come to your knees, take a nice inhale, and lower. Elbows back, chest, chin, hands, knees, feet. On your next inhale, cobra. Tiny cobra, so small your hands can lift. And then curl the toes under, press to mountain or plank. Take 5 breaths, and if you're in plank, feel free to go to your knees. And then on your next inhale, looking between the hands, stepping your right foot over by your right hand, lunging on the other side, decide, stay up, go down, hands to the floor, hands to the knee, pressing away from the knee, or arms up overhead. You can see I added a back bend, thoracic, showing my sternum to the ceiling. Float the arms down gently. On your next inhale, come off the back knee, a little hop to the front, fold or look forward. And then inhale, arms to the sides, coming up, all the way up. And exhale, hands into lunges. Good. Just releasing, breathing. Good. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. We're going to exhale and go down into a nice big squat. Okay. Nice big squat. Relax your bottom. Let the bottom relax first. Just maybe turn your head to either side. And then take your chin up. Relax your tailbone down. Good. And then bring both arms back. Put your hands on the floor and help yourself sit down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Good. Hold on to your knees. And then bring your feet into neutral. This big toe touching, heels are not touching, knees are touching. Squeeze into your knees. Relax your elbows down. Shoulders are back and down. My feet are off the floor. Just relaxing. I'm balancing on my sit bones. We're going to go into boat pose. So slowly bring your hands behind your knees. Roll the shoulders back and down. Have a nice V shape between the femurs and your spine. And then go ahead and rise up with your right leg. And then release it. Left leg, point the toe, and release it. Right, and release. And left, and release. This is also a great prep for Hanuman Asana. Now take your hands in between and grab your big toes with your victory fingers, your index and your middle finger, shoulders back and down. Good. And then begin to straighten the right leg. Just as much as you can. Don't worry if it's not all the way straight. Breathe. Press through the heel a little bit more. See if the body lets you go a little bit deeper. Just a little bit. Play the edge. Don't go over it. And then relax that right leg. And now, left leg. Just balancing on the sit bones. Pressing through the heel. Don't overextend. Wait. We're going to wait and then ask the body permission once it feels safe. Good, and now press through the heels. See if you can go right to the edge, just not over it. Good, and then release. And then both legs reaching up. Try to take the heels right in front. Arms are straight. Knees can still be gently bent. And then see if you can go a little bit more. Shoulders are back, press through the heels, look up. And then slowly begin to release it, release it, release it, release it. Soles of the feet together. Soles of the feet together, pressing into the soles of the feet. Good. And then bring your hands to above the ankles. Get really tall. Good. Taking your left foot back behind you. Keep the right leg right where it is in front. It's not close to your groin. Just right where it is. You're just resting the joint and internal rotation for a moment. Bring it back. And right leg back behind you. Don't move the left one. Keep it out where it was. Relax for a minute. Just let that femur be in that internal rotation. Good. And soles of the feet together. Good. So when we think about our personal practice, you want to make sure that you've worked all of the joints in the body when you can. So your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your trunk, your hips, your knees, your ankles. So that we've covered everything when we're working with the body. We want to make sure that the back, the spine, this is Fuego. This is the first time he's ever come to class. Thank you. Go away. Whenever we are upright and working with the body, we want to make sure that we have all three of the curves of the spine really respected. So I have a little bit of my lumbar curve and a little bit of my cervical curve, which is not really a curve, but it's created because of the way my head sits upon the spine. So those curves are respected. And then when we do cat pose, it takes those curves in their opposite directions, allowing the spine to be manipulated. So usually you would have a cat pose at some time in your practice. We're going to take a seated cat for a moment. So coming back how we were, just sitting up for a moment. Good. So put your hands right in front of your knees, elbows out to the side for a moment. Good. And then take your elbows down. You can see the bend on the elbows. They're resting close to your thighs. Good. As you inhale, pull the chest through the arms, come up onto the top of your sit bones. And as you exhale, begin to straighten the arms, lean back, pull the belly to the spine. Inhale, come up, look up, exhale, straighten the arms, begin to go down, curl the spine. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling, going down. Good, one more time. Inhale, up, and exhale, down. Good. And then find yourself back into neutral. Good. We're going to lie down on the floor and we're going to just do a couple of recline poses. But I want you to watch me before you go, because once you're there, I don't want you bending your neck and doing anything weird. We're just going to do a twist. We're going to do first a twist, and then we're going to do bridge pose, and then we're going to do Viparit Karani, our final inversion. Okay. So just to keep you in that mode, when we come down, the twist, I just want you to lift and shift your hips and come over to the other side. Just draw your shins away. Keep looking toward the ceiling. Into the practice, no need to take it any further. And then come back, unshift your hips, draw them in, shift them over to the other side, and then go. So wherever you are, your legs can be straight or at a right angle, wherever you want your legs, but you can touch your low back and make sure you are not twisting there. The twist is happening where you have ribs, okay? Then we're going to lift and go into bridge pose. And then we're going to put our block underneath and go up into our Viparit Karani Mudra, or with your hands. You're welcome with the palms of your hands or with your block. Okay? So lie down and just listen to my words. Bend your knees, put your feet firmly on the floor. Find your low back curve. Do not press your low back into the floor. Do not press your low back into the floor. Good. Inhale, hips off the floor, shift them over to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches, set them down, draw your knees in a little bit, and then drop your legs over to the right. Touch your low back, make sure you didn't twist there. Twist is happening where you have ribs. You can straighten your legs, bring them to a right angle, or just leave them where they are, whatever you want to do. And then slowly, using the left toe, find it on the floor, help it to walk you back, straighten yourself out, move your hips, make sure you have your low back curve. And then lift your hips off the floor, shift them over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. Draw your knees in and knees over to the left. Good. Touch your low back again. Gaze at the ceiling. Make sure that you are not taking the twist in the low back. Are your knees even? No. Breathe. And then letting your right big toe find its way to the floor, and it'll help straighten you out. Bring yourself back. Good. Bend your knees. We're going to go up into our bridge pose. So knees are bent, not too far apart. If you have your block and you want to just check on the width of your knees and feet, same area. Good. I just put a block between my knees. And then press into your upper arms and lift your chest off the floor. Chest comes up to greet the rest of the curve. If you're not inverting, just visit this a couple of times with your shoulders flat on the floor. Just come up and down a few times. Up and down. Up and down. And if you're up, all the way up, slowly come down, all the way down. Good. So we're going to go up one more time into bridge and then all the way up into Viparit, or you're going to just lift your hips off, put your block there, and do Viparit Karani Mudra. Block is underneath, and this is only if you are inverting. If you have any eye pressure problems, uncontrolled blood pressure, glaucoma, you are not inverting. If on the first few days of your menstrual cycle, you are not inverting. So you guys can just put your bottom on the floor and raise your legs. Good. So whatever you decided, it's still helping your lymphatic system drain back down into the chest cavity where it has to come to go back through the cleaning system of the body. Relax face, tongue, belly, big toes, thumbs, elbows, legs, trunk. Anything you cannot use, relax it. And then moving yourself whenever you're ready into your Shavasana. You can draw your knees into the chest. And now if you drew your knees in, don't force them in, but let your low back come to the floor. His knees are bent deeply. And then one at a time, taking your feet to the floor, and then finding your Shavasana. Not feeling trapped by your mat, open body. Relax your jaw. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath, watching the belly or the chest rise and fall. Beginning to roll your eyes in the sockets in one direction, then the other. Letting the tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth, swishing it along the front of the teeth. And then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Bringing some movement into the fingers and the toes. Waking up the senses, waking up your input. Waking up the way that you get all of your input into your being. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, lift your hips off the floor, shake them gently side to side. Rock them over away from me and then roll over toward me into embryo pose, curled up. Safe, safe, safe and secure. And then using your upper arm, place your hand on the floor close to your face, begin to press the floor away. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Slowly begin to come up, letting your head be the very last thing that just balances on the top of the spine. Preparing your seat, anything you need to do to get your comfortable seat. Good. Nice tall spine. Just sitting for a moment in this seated Sukhasana, easy pose. You can be in any pose that feels good to you right now. Legs extended, legs folded, legs underneath you, in a chair, whatever feels good. Just finding yourself in an easy pose wherever it is. And feeling the asana do their work on the body, on the mind, on the senses. Yes, there is an ambulance in the background. Just let it lull you. And then on your next inhale, letting your eyes flutter open. Sitting up nice and tall. Good. So I want to have us practice Ujjayi, victorious breath. Babaji taught us two methods. One is the subtle method. It sort of looks like Darth Vader or feels like sounds like Darth Vader. I'm cold, but I'm gonna suffer through. It's the one where you are rasping across the throat and out across, you're making that sort of sound. It sounds like Darth Vader. Everybody just do a little tickle in your throat and just everybody go, okay? That's the area we're going to be using muscularly. So Vishuddha chakra is there. So it really releases emotions. It releases emotions, feelings, getting rid of fear, getting rid of inability to do something. All of those emotions get stuck right there in the throat area. So Ujjayi gross method is using and vibrating that area and bringing it in with 5 sobbing sips, okay? So that breath is going to come in 5 sobbing sips. I'll pause at the top of those sips and then exhale gently out my nose. So it's a chest breath. My belly's going to be in and stable. I'm going to breathe into my chest. I'm going to take 5 sobbing sips. It'll make you want to laugh, so feel free to laugh, right? If I were in your house, I'd probably be laughing at you when you do it, okay? And if other people are there, just let them laugh, right? Because it's so good. Laughter is very close to crying. So it brings up that emotion as well, making us want to release that emotion, all right? So I'm going to give an example of Ujjayi gross method. Exhaling the breath all the way out, and then I'm going to inhale into the chest in 5 even sips. I'm exhaling out through the nose, softly, gently, smoothly. At the bottom of the exhale, I'll just pause briefly and then do 5 more sips. And you can put your hand right at the throat, right at where the jugular notch is, just putting your hand right there so you can feel this as you're exhaling, just letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. So try this next one with me. Put a hand right there at the jugular notch. Exhale the breath all the way out. Inhale, 5 sobs. Pause, and then exhale it out. Do another one. Pause and exhale it out. Maybe do one more because I really want you to get it. Make sure you're moving that part. 5 sips. Move the part right there, right at the Vishut. Everything, the glottis and the epiglottis are tightening. 5 sobs. Pause, and then a nice, slow, even, smooth exhale. And then just fall back into your natural breath pattern. So, Brahmari pranayama, or bee humming. I've seen it taught so many different ways, but I'm going to show you how Babaji showed me. So I'm going to tighten that same exact area. And for me personally, it's a lot easier to do on the exhale breath. So I'm going to do the exhale first, and then I'll inhale, and then exhale, inhale. Okay, so you can just sort of see. Same place. Try that place out. That place holding emotion. All right. So I'm going to start by, normally you start the breath exhaling and begin with an inhale, but because an exhale is a lot easier for me, I'm going to start there. And I'll stop so I can use my voice instead of just the exhaling out. So you can hear how high-pitched the sound is and how they differ from inhale to exhale. So a trick that I learned to help myself that I want to teach you to do is using the Ujjayi breath, the gross method, those sips to hop off of a sip into Brahmari pranayama, okay? So I want us to try that for a minute. I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'll try to hop off on the 3rd Ujjayi, okay? Exhaling the breath all the way out. Inhale. At the top, a slight pause just to tell yourself you are alive and well and will not die, because that's how it feels. And then try the exhale humming in the same place that it was in. So touch the throat. You really need to touch it to get connected with where that space is happening in the glottis, epiglottis. Good, okay? So we're gonna use the Ujjayi gross, and you can jump off anytime you're ready. The second, or third, or fourth, or maybe even the fifth sob. Let that go right into Brahmari. So starting with an exhale, breath, just exhale it out. And 5 sobs, but see where you jump. Pause at the top, exhale. Same place, same area. Exhale it all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Don't leave any breath in there. Slight pause at the bottom. Sob. Pause at the top. Be still. See if there is any inner sound that comes. Looking for that inner sound. Keeping the spine tall. We'll move into our meditation. Just letting go of Brahmari, letting go of the technique. We'll talk about it after class. Just letting go. Relax the legs and the bottom and the feet. The whole base of the body, letting go. Relax your face, the tongue and the mouth, letting go. Beginning to reflect on emotion. Just letting some emotions pass through your mind. Feelings, emotions, good ones, not so good ones, scary ones. Recognizing a feeling, an emotion. Letting the emotions take the form of a cloud, and each of them drifting past and away. Do not engage. The emotion, the feeling comes up, drifts away on a cloud. Let it go. And then for just a moment, allowing your mind to contemplate the emotions I will say. Letting the mind absorb these positive emotions. Also like clouds, slowly drifting away. Joy. Peace. Abundance. Love. happiness, love, love, love. Feeling the whole self surrounded in a cloud of love. Relax into the cloud of love. Bringing your meditation to a close, letting the cloud dissipate, knowing there are clouds of love out there for you all day, all night, every day. Beginning to let the body relax even more before you begin to innervate the body, breathing a little deeper. And bringing the hands back into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Any merit we may have earned this morning in our diligent practice of yoga, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Take a moment and just think, all sentient beings. Let that thought slip out of your mind, down into your heart, and out of your heart into the palms of your hands. And lift up that prayer for all sentient. Let it go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. I'm coming. Good morning again, closer up. Let's see. Let me find it where I can fix it where you can unmute yourself to talk or chat or anything you might like. So a reminder, today is the last class for the month of May. I'll be back here Tuesday in Spanish and Thursday in English. So don't come tomorrow, I won't be here. Okay, don't come tomorrow, I won't be here.
Thank you very much, Ginger. Thank you very much.
You're very, very, very welcome. Okay, any questions? Like, Martha, did you get a little bit about creating a personal practice? Like maybe using something like Sun Salute at the back, as the focus of it? Let me go to gallery view. I can get everybody bigger.
Yes, excellent, Ginger. Thank you.
And just finding a way to break out the poses so that they begin to make sense, right? Otherwise, you know, the pose itself is just a combination of movements. And so it's really important that we break out those Why isn't it into gallery? Okay. Yeah, it's important that we break out the movements so you can sort of see where we are, right? Every time that we are doing the poses, you really want to see. Okay, so if I want to do, let's say I want to do dancer. Dancer means standing, it means balance, it means also the same sort of action with the legs as Hanuman Asana. It means a lot of quadricep flexibility. It means that I have a back bend. So you are putting all of these into, thank you, Mary. You're putting all of them, the things that you need to do to put together, you want to go through all of those little steps first. So that part of the body is really warmed up and ready to go. Let's see, there's a chat. Okay, very welcome. Yeah, so any questions about Ujjayi gross method or Brahmari pranayam? This is just my my method because Babaji never told me to use Ujjayi and jump off of it. But for me, it's super, but I also teach a lot of people yoga therapy and using it therapeutic. It's really hard to access that first, being able to get into that sob. So when I have people do the it seems to be a lot easier to kind of jump off of the Ujjayi than just to take an exhale and go. Over time, that'll also be easy. And I know you all probably sounded like little puppies screaming for milk, right? That's kind of how it sounds. And that's just the way it is, you know. Everybody was probably laughing, and that's also good, right? There's very little difference between laughter and crying, which is why laughter yoga is also very good for releasing emotion. If you haven't ever done Marco's laughing yoga.
My two dogs were very upset. The dogs were upset. They were concerned that something was wrong with me. Now I know why. Here they are. We came to check it out.
Yeah, it'll bring in dogs, children, it'll bring in anybody. Which is why it's not a practice I could do when my kids were young at home, because it would terrify them. Yeah. But it's really good for releasing emotion, especially, it's also where I saw it make the most difference was in a yoga teacher training. And the first night of opening circle, a young girl said that she had lost her voice for a year completely. Woke up one morning, voice gone. And I got to realize, and she got to realize that she lost her voice because she didn't want to tell her mom she didn't want to go to that college. She was getting ready to go to college and didn't like that college, didn't want to go to that college. It was her mom's choice of college, but yet she couldn't tell her mom she didn't want to go to the college of her mom's choice. So she's lost her voice and didn't have to go to college. And very unconsciously. And when she started, and she thought she had worked through it because now she's sitting in the circle and she's talking again, right? She thought she had like found out that why. But when she started doing the pranayams like Ujjayi gross, we do Ujjayi gross first, Ujjayi gross, and then Ujjayi subtle, and then Brahmari later on, then things really started cracking open. And I found a person who went from this kind of a voice, I don't know if you know some people who have that kind of a voice, to this kind of a voice, right? Because she hadn't been able to access that. She couldn't find all of the different tones that we have in our vocal cords. Like when you can tell when I'm upset or nervous, my voice goes way up like that and it stays up like that, and I get so upset and I'm talking in the upper tone and it's a monotone and I can hear it and I can't get it down no matter what. So, you know, now you know if you ever hear me in that voice. I'm either very nervous or very upset about something, right? So working with that area of Vishuddha, because that is the seat of Udana Vayu, the Vayu that brings in our sense perceptions, which Pran in the mind helps to process, but it brings in our sense perceptions and everything that goes up and out. So speaking, singing, spitting, vomiting, blinking, wiggling your ears, wriggling your nose, all of that stuff that's going up and out of the body happens. And Vishuddha, every time we vibrate it, it's the one that's going to make a difference and change, right? So we really want to work there. Yeah. Any questions about sun salute? It's pretty easy. You'll get used to it. I just don't want anybody to collapse down to the floor. It's rather you go down onto your forearms and take your time and go to the wall and do push-ups at the wall to prepare yourself for it. Just not just collapsing into the floor. Antonia, you were going to ask a question, sweetie? Uh-huh. I unmuted you. Hold on. Okay.
How do you make that breathing exercise when you hurt your throat?
A little louder. I couldn't hear you.
How do you make that breathing exercise not hurt your throat?
Well, it does sort of hurt initially, just because it's something we don't use very much, is that area. And I don't know if it's like hurt. It just comes this uncomfortable kind of, you know, like. But I had that this morning when I woke up. I had a. I'm having a little bit of a postnasal drip with the rain just, you know, coming in, and it was so windy yesterday. So I could feel that postnasal drip this morning. So mine was already there. So just scratching it a little bit more. But the way to do that is after practice, you gargle with warm salt water and turmeric. And turmeric is antibacterial, antifungal, anti-everything, anti-inflammatory. And just that little tiny pinch of turmeric in your warm salt water will cleanse whatever's there. And you should take a whole, 8-ounce cup of water, not just like 2 or 3 gargles, and gargle the whole thing and go as far back as you can, like, as far back as you can get it, because you're really cleaning the nasal pharynx. You're cleaning at the very back of your nose, not just your mouth. That all is connected back there, I hope you know. So you're cleaning what would be dripping out of your nose and giving it a little push. So you're just getting all the garbage out of your nose when you gargle, right? All of a sudden it's like gonna come down out of the back of your nose anyway.
Ginger?
Yes. Hi, Patty.
Hi. Ginger, I can't thank you enough for everything, these classes. I ordered the oil. I've been putting it up my nose, especially at night. Super helpful, super helpful. Was not aware of it. Love my oil. Also, I've been doing the rinse or the gargle with the turmeric and salt. Very good, wonderful tip. This breathing that you just did and the meditation was so spot on today, because I've been very concerned about a friend. So I've been texting, calling, sending little inspirational words. He's very much in a deep depression and in a real sense of fear that he's not able to get himself out of it. He feels like he's a pea stuck in a pod. So I feel that when I call him today, I can speak to this breathing with him as a good visual to release all what's stuck in his throat through this. And then the lovely meditation to tell him to take those clouds and let them go and take in the good feelings. So I'm so excited to share this with him.
I'm so glad.
So I want you to know how much, I want you to know how deeply you have touched me and how deeply you're going to touch him. And you're in Guatemala and I'm here in Florida, and I love you for this.
Thank you, Patty. That is so sweet. That is so nice. I'm so glad. And I'm so glad that the relevance ends up just coming out of what you guys are sending to me vibrationally. We are really not separate. And that's our illusion of space and time. We're really not separate. We really are connected on that level of akash, of that space. And today I was reading a little bit about just getting caught in space and time, right? Instead of like letting ourselves just really absorb the whole ether of our unified consciousness, where we really are together at that level of the extreme intellect field, the consciousness field, where We don't have any separation at all, at all. Yes, Surya. Surya, do you have it says moto.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that is, yes. Can you hear me?
Hardly. Can you come a little closer?
I am unmuted.
I'm turning my volume up as high as it'll go. Okay.
Is it better?
Yes, that's much better.
Okay. So my question is about Ujjayi breath and Brahmari breath. I seem to be struggling on the exhalations, making the noise, and sometimes I get caught feeling like there's congestion that I'm not even aware of, and then that causes me to cough and interrupts the practice. So
Interrupt
what I
away.
have done is sometimes
Interrupt away. I mean,
Uh,
it's really good to get that clearing. But
yeah.
what you could try, Surya, is doing your gargle before you practice.
Okay.
Doing your warm salt water with a little bit of turmeric.
Yes. One thing I've been doing is when I get in that spot is just eliminating the sound and keeping rolling with the thing. But what you're suggesting is just go ahead and just work through it.
Yes, I'm suggesting you cough, you spit, you tremor, like what I'll find. Today was just a lucky day. Today it sounded smooth and nice. Some days it sounds like, it's like terrible sounding, right? Because that's just where my throat, my emotions, my everything is that day. So I'm just saying, try to walk through it. But I know that if you do jala neti and if you gargle before practice, you will feel a lot better during practice. That's why the shot karmas are kind of setting the table for practice, right? So that alone will help. But for me, let me just say something about the exhale, because what happens, I find, I'll tell people we're going to do 4 rounds. If you don't take enough of if you stop your exhale before it's done, you won't have any space to inhale. You just run out of space. I don't know if that happened, if your inhales got shorter and shorter and shorter, because every single time you didn't. I'm having my hands. See, it's scratchy, but I have my hands right around my ribs so that I can personally make sure that I've let my ribs go all the way in as far as they can, and they come all the way back out. And that pause is so important. And the reason I think this practice is so good for emotion, every single time I do that, I think I'm going to die. I don't know about you, but it is so unnatural for me to do that and get all the breath out and just that little tiny pause before I start to bring the breath back in. And at the top of that pause, that little pause before I take the breath back out. In those little moments, I see little glimpses of eternity. So I think it's a very powerful practice, but I think you have to do it slowly and very mindfully. And I love Ujjayi Gross for helping us get the technique of just jumping off into that space, right? Because it's a lot easier to do a little sob, a couple of little sobs, and just sob off than it is to just from the very beginning of nothing to and keep it focused, right? Okay, any other questions? It's time. So this is my last class for the month of April. I'm starting May, starting tomorrow. I'm not giving classes daily. I'm going to give class on Tuesdays in Espanol and Thursdays in English. Okay, so English class on Thursdays and same time, same channel, same everything. I'm not going to change a thing, right? And please tell other people that they might want to come. You'll see, I'm going to write it up again on my web. I'm going to accept donations if people want. No one has to give a penny. I'm not asking for people to start giving money. But if you feel so moved, and some people have already generously done so, and I'm so grateful, but just for you to know that I will accept, just because I'm not getting a salary anymore for a few, well, who knows? Neither Maggie or I are going to get salaries for a long time, so we'll let you know. Yeah. It's been so wonderful to hang out with you guys. It's been so nice to hang out with you. And I look forward to seeing you all a week from today on Thursday. Be there or be square, as we say.
Ginger, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Ginger, are you selling things from the shop that's
Yes.
near Cafe Condesa?
Yes, the shop is open. It's been open every day
You
from
can?
8 to 12. Tomorrow it starts being open from 10 to 2, 10 to 2 daily. But you can WhatsApp them or call them. It's all on the Facebook page.
Where do we send the Ginger? Where do we send the donations to?
I'm sorry, Mamata.
Where do we send the donations to?
If you do, since you're in the States, you can do PayPal, and the PayPal is with my old email, which is GA, because my name is Ginger Ann. It is GA Hooven, HOOVEN, at hotmail.com.
GA Hooven at Hotmail. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I still use my GA Hooven at Hotmail for all my old friends. So you're going to get into the old friend category because those emails, those are the, everybody else now uses my Kamalesh at mountmadonna.org email. So I love finding new people in my old email.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to hang out with you. And I love it when there are a couple of people from the same place, like Antonia and Sylvia are in the same house and they go practice on different computers. Charles and Nayana too, they practice in different places sometimes. And it's just so wonderful to just see how everybody is working the practice. So don't stop practicing. Tomorrow, same time, same place, on your mat at your house. You pull up one of those YouTube videos of mine, get you inspired, let it work you for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then just do your own thing. You will be perfect. You will be perfect at everything you do. I promise.